So the Japanese Pokemon market. You may have seen a lot of videos, maybe over the past few months, of people buying a lot of Japanese products, saying that it was really good to pivot towards Japanese products. Risky at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, I would say in the past, like before this craziness has been going on, I think Japanese products were absolutely fantastic. They were nice and cheap. They were easy to, shift if you're looking at doing from like a business standpoint. People are getting burnt right now. People looking at shifting product. People looking at, keeping it sealed, investing, whatever it may be, the Japanese stuff, and they're getting hit hard, right? I'll give you an example. There was a guy I saw maybe, I don't know, a couple of months ago when Gloria Team Rocket hit, and he put out a video and he had 10 cases of Gloria Team Rocket that he bought for £200 a booster box. £200 a booster box. Right now, you can pick up Gloria Team Rocket for under 100. I still think that's too expensive, but you can pick up for under 100. And he's like, please, guys, like, if anybody can take them off my hands, even if they bought it off me for what I paid for. I'm like, mate, you messed up big time. So the Japanese market, has been falling. They've had a really good boom. They've done very, very well. But things are starting to cool off a bit, okay? I wouldn't say it's crashing or anything like that, but things are cooling off. A lot of hype has caused a lot of prices to go a lot higher. Also, the Pokemon Company in Japan are on it in regards to reprints. They are setting an example that, the English printers need to crack on and get things sorted. They've been really, really focused and on it, just getting more and more product in the hands of people. So today we'll be going through all things Japanese, and we'll be looking at the US market and the UK market to give you guys an idea of what's been going on, and to give you guys like a little bit of an indicator of, things can go terribly wrong as well. So let's jump into it. Okay, so we're on TCG Player. We've got a whole bunch of these Japanese sets that we're going to look at today. So we talked about Gloria Team Rocket. So that's going to be the first one I want to talk about today. So the Gloria Team Rocket, of course, there's lots of hype around it. It's a pretty sick, awesome set. So we're looking at $106 a booster box, okay? We look at like recently sold, that's just a booster pack. So recently sold pretty much around 105 to 110 a box, okay? So this bad boy has fallen from nearly $200 down. It's dropped nearly 50% in value, and I expect it to drop even more. Like I say, they're pumping this stuff out like no tomorrow, and it's very, very interesting. So like I say, this person, they went and bought booster boxes for £200 a piece, and now they're getting hit hard, right? They're getting absolutely wrecked. So we go over to here in the UK. We've got Japan to UK, which is a place that I used to pick up a lot of Japanese booster boxes. And now most of the time pretty much go on eBay if I can find them cheaper. But these guys are pretty much on it. They have it in hand. Boom. Prices seem to be okay. Sometimes you can get a bit cheaper, like I say, on eBay or other places. But they're very, very, very good and very reliable. So I'll give an example, right? We can see here, right? Gloria Team Rocket, £90. This person bought it for 200. Got absolutely wrecked. Black Bolt White Flare. We're looking at £85 a box for each of these. I have seen on eBay that you can sometimes pick these up for a little bit cheaper. The jumbo ones I'm not too sure about. But again, Heat Wave Arena, £65. This was over £100. This was like £110. I have a Japanese contact which I've ordered from before, and he was selling these, so including shipping, including taxes and everything else for me to get over here. We were looking at roughly around £90 a booster box. And I think maybe a little bit more, maybe 95, 90 to 95. And I turned around and I was like, no, I don't want it. That was ridiculously expensive. But over here, it was selling for about maybe 100, 110. And now we're looking at 65. I think it's going to drop even more. So again, that one's brutal. Again, Battle Partners, £50 for Battle Partners. Again, we've seen it time again. When I saw this come out and it was super inflated prices, I was like, no way am I touching this one. At £50, not too bad, but I think it's a little bit lower than I'm tempted. But Terrestrial Festival, now this is a slightly different one. Now, with the high class sets, I've always viewed these as pretty good, right? I've liked VMAX Climax, V-Star Universe, Shiny Treasure, like even Shiny Star V, like all that sort of stuff. I think they're absolutely amazing. With Terrestrial Festival, I picked them up at like £40, £45 a box on their pre-release prices. Then they went up to like £100 a box, £110 a box. And now they've come down a little bit at 75. I mean, Japan are on it, like getting more and more printed, but it's, I don't know, like, we'll look at the values of these sets in a minute, but a part of me is just like, is it really worth it buying it for 75? I mean, from my Japanese contact, it has gone down in price. Like, after Christmas, was like January time, I think all in, like shipping costs and everything like that, the boxes were about 70, 75. And they were selling for about 100 at the time. So I was like, oh, okay, it's not too bad. But let's say I bought it and now they're 75. I'm not really making it, I won't be making anything on it. I haven't contacted them recently, so it'll be interesting to see how much they are now. But you've got to be careful. Same with Super Electric Breaker. I've seen this one go up to crazy prices as well. And then you've got all these other sets which have gone up over time. Now, that's one thing I will say, right? A lot of these have gone up. We're looking at, 45 to 60 for Crimson Haze. And even if you go further down and you're looking at, again, between 40 and 50 pounds for the other sets as well. At the back end of last year, beginning of January, with my contact, it worked out that you like Future Flash and Night Wanderer and Stellar Miracle, right? Pretty much these four, right? So Stellar Miracle, Night Wanderer, Mask of Change, and Future Flash, all in. So that would be the taxes, import taxes, shipping, everything like that. All in was about 17 to 8. It's about £18 a box. All in. £18 a box. Now, right now, that's fantastic, right? Could you imagine getting these £50 Mask of Change boxes for 18 quid? The profit margin's through the roof. But it can be quite risky. So you've got to be careful. And obviously, with Japanese prices, they fluctuate so much at the moment as well. So you've got to be a little bit careful. But we're going to be looking at each one of these sets anyway. So we go on to PokeJace and we can see all the different sets, of course, from the Japanese stuff. So we talk about Gloria Team Rocket. The Gloria Team Rocket overall value is $842, which isn't too bad actually for a Japanese set. So we've got the Mewtwo, of course, $220. Very, very impressive. Beautiful card as well, of course, from Destined Rivals. But let's take a look at this, right? So we remove the PSA price. Look at the raw price of this boy. $450, and now we're looking at just over 200. This sucker's fallen like absolutely crazy. And even the PSA 10, I mean, $366, that has fallen quite heavily as well. And again, across the board, the overall value of this set has fallen. I mean, $800, $850 is not too bad. Then you got Heatwave Arena, $622. And again, we've seen a lot of these cards fallen in price. We look at the Cynthia's Garchomp. So this one, $300 in a PSA 10. But again, if we look at the raw price, this one has fallen from $300 down to $160. Probably will fall even more. Then we've got Battle Partners, $643. I mean, you've got the Lily Clefairy. I mean, some of these are actually holding relatively well, all things considered, for the price of the booster box now. And again, do you remember that promo that came out with the booster box, that box topper thing? People were paying silly money for it. Like, absolutely silly money for it. And now, I mean, even the PSA 10, it's like $40, if that. So, yeah, it's not that great. So, we're looking at $175 for the Lily Clefairy. I mean, this was just an absolute free fall. And then we look at the raw price, it was $550. Now we're looking at $175. That is absolutely ridiculous at how much that has dropped. The Terrestrial Festival, this is what I wanted to... This one's an interesting one, Terrestrial Festival, right? So we looked at around $75 a box, right? Here in the UK, £75 a box. If we look over in the US, $86, okay? Look at $86 for the box there. So we look at Terrestrial Festival. Obviously, the Moonbryon, we look at $300. Absolutely massive card. Still, actually. Then you have the Silver 95. But then after that, there's only 2 cards in the set that's worth more than the box. So even if you pulled any of these amazing EVs, and don't get me wrong, these are absolutely amazing. They're not guaranteed. Obviously, you are guaranteed a big hit in a box. But you can get any of these other ones, right, which are nice, but their values are pretty poor. So to get one of these big EVs, you're still not going to do very well. Okay? If you hit the Umbreon, yeah, sure, you could do pretty good. But even then, this sucker has fallen like no tomorrow. So let's take a look at this one. So raw price, it actually was $420, and it has fallen, but not that much. Whereas the PSA price, we go to PSA 10. Look at this PSA 10. I mean, it was nearly $800, and now we're looking at $450. It's only like $150 difference. 34,000 of them in a PSA 10. I mean, it is a very, very sought after card though. People still really do, like, they really do want it. So for me, it's like, I think Terrestrial Festival will do very well in the future. I do. I think it'll be a pretty good one. But again, there's a lot of value there to be had though. There's a lot of value in that set, 2.4k. Super Electric Breaker, again, we're looking at $602. So I'll give you an example, right? We've got $602. We go back to some of the earlier ones. We talked about Stellar Miracle and like Night Wanderer and stuff. So Stellar Miracle, $300 in value. Not great. Night Wanderer, okay, $240 in value. What was the other one I talked about? Future Flash, $230 in value. The value is just not really there in a lot of these sets, right? I mean, even if we go to Shiny Treasure, which got so heavily printed, look at the value still in this set. There's a lot of good value to be found in Shiny Treasure. Of course, the Bubble Mew as well, and the Zardy Boy carrying like absolute bosses. It's because of all the baby shinies in there, which is obviously pretty good. Now, we've got 151. This one, I think, is an absolute juggernaut. It still is. I mean, look at the value still found in this set. How much are booster boxes right now? So booster boxes, we're looking at $150. So here in the UK, how much are these? Can we got 151? So 151 sold at £150. So keep that in mind. We're looking at £150 there for a Japanese 151 booster box. So yeah, still soft. And don't forget, that thing got printed like no tomorrow. Everyone's like, oh, it's crashing. And it did. It went from like $200 down to $50, and it's back up to 150. Just crazy times. And then yeah, and then you got a lot of value still to be found in this. You know what's even more wild? The Zapdos in Japanese is pretty much the same what it is in English. Same with the Blastoise, same with the Venusaur, and in fact, same with the Charizard. And I just realized that. I was like, that, holy smokes, that's actually wild. That the Japanese stuff is near enough the same price as the English stuff. And the amount of these, I mean, 26,000 of them in the PSA 10. Wow. That's actually, I mean, has this bounced back raw? Yeah, wow, look at the raw price. It's been climbing like absolute no tomorrow. Interesting. Didn't expect that. So it's been a while since I looked at 151 in Japanese. Done very, very well. Gengar's now the biggest card, no longer the Pikachu. Interesting. But yeah, a lot of the Master Balls do hold a lot of value in this set as well. So keep that one in mind. So you have it, guys. That's what's been going on in the Japanese market. Be careful out there if you're looking at investing long term in Japanese products, or even just buying it to open, or if you're looking as like a business standpoint and you want to buy and then sell Japanese products. Just be careful. Everything is super hyped and very inflated at the moment. And like I said, people get stung, right? I've seen people, they had it with Heatwave Arena, people buying boxes for £100 a box, and now they're like 65, and they're like got boxes and cases full of the stuff, and they're just like trying to fire sell it just to break even. And it's, I mean, I say like to break even, they're fire selling it at a loss. Let's be real. So yeah, it's pretty tough. You gotta be super careful with Japanese product right now. I think the Japanese market is calming down a bit and is cooling off, and I think it will going into the next generation. I think Black Ball and White Flare, I mean, it's going to be okay, but I just don't think it's anywhere near as great as what we've had recently. So keep that one in mind moving forward. I'm looking forward to seeing what the high-class Japanese set will be at the end of this year. I think all of them are fantastic. So yeah, it'll be really cool. But guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments regarding the Japanese market. Have you been buying any to keep sealed? Have you been buying stuff to like sell on? Have you been cracking packs? You collect Japanese, you grade Japanese. I mean, grading Japanese is absolutely fantastic. So many people love the Japanese cards. It's just a cheaper way of getting the sweet artwork that is tough to get in English. And when English is like really tough to get hold of and very, very expensive, Japanese is a very good alternative. And I would also say now Chinese is getting up there, would be a very, very good alternative as well. But that is it from me, guys, in today's video. If you watch more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen, and of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I will see you in the next one.